Ladies and gentlemen, from the legendary O2 Arena, London, England, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing and K2 Promotions Managing Director Tom Loeffler, along with Triple G Promotions, are proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the middleweight championship of the world. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, President and Steward in charge tonight, Charles Giles. The World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman, Supervisor Alberto Leon. The International Boxing Federation, President and Supervisor tonight, Darrell F. Peoples. The International Boxing Organization, President and Supervisor tonight, Ed Levine. The three judges scoring: from Italy, Guido Cavalieri; from Canada, Craig Metcalf; from Canada, Benoit Rousseau; and in charge of the action at the bell, World Championship veteran referee Marlon Wright from Canada. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the officials are in place and they are ready. The fighters are in the ring and they are ready. Boxing fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, from the O2 Arena, London, England, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, with his trainer, Dominic Ingle, wearing red with gold trim. Official weight, 11 stone, 5 pounds, 1/2 ounce, or 159.4 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one, consisting of 36 fights, 36 victories, including 25 wins by knockout, with 16 stoppages inside the distance in his last 20 contests. Tonight, he is the challenger. He's the fighting pride of Sheffield, Yorkshire, England, the undefeated welterweight champion of the world, the special one, Hell Special K. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, with his trainer, Abel Sanchez, officially weighing in at 11 stone, 5 pounds, or 158.9 pounds. As a professional, also a perfect record. 35 fights, 35 victories, including 32 wins by knockout, including 22 consecutive KOs, and he has KO'd every opponent he's faced over the last 8 years. This Olympic medalist from Karaganda, Kazakhstan, is the reigning, defending, undefeated, universally recognized, true middleweight champion of the world, Gennadievich Golovkin, a.k.a. Triple G.
Well, we're almost there. More Paralympic action coming up after the fights in the US Open Women's Final, which is on Sports Extra now. It's currently 1-1 between Kerber and Pliskova. The last of the formalities here at ringside. The referee's instructions from Marlon Wright of Canada.
Okay, gentlemen, I gave you both my instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. Remember, protect yourself at all times, and you must obey my command at all times. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
Well, since the contracts were signed, the attitude of Kell Brook has been bring it on. Long since known as the special one, he will need a performance as special as any produced by any British boxer in history to deliver here this evening. Can he defy the hardest punching middleweight champion in history? All the dignitaries, all the members of the respective camps have left ringside, and the bell sounds for the first round ahead of the first appearance in the United Kingdom of Gennady Golovkin, one of the greatest middleweights of all time, with this astonishing knockout record. And the two men in centre ring, the first punch is thrown by Gennady Golovkin. It was an attempted left hook and he was made to miss. Then he flicks out a jab from Brook does land, but only on the side of the face of Golovkin, who looks as though he was about to try to avoid that shot. A clipping left hook from Brook as Golovkin charges forward, and Brook times it nicely and catches him on the way in. But Golovkin goes after his man as if he can take those punches with impunity. Lands a jab. Brook is on the back foot. There's an apprehensive look about him. Why not, given the record of the man in front of him? As they exchange jabs in the centre of the ring. One from Brook gets through, lands on the high part of the head of Golovkin, who's holding the gloves. Golden gloves they are at the moment, with strips of blue as well in the colours of his native Kazakhstan to match his shorts, which are predominantly light blue, almost turquoise. Bright red trunks worn by Brook, who takes a solid jab, then a short clipping right hand from Golovkin, who steps to the right, cuts off the ring's face as Brook moves around towards his left. And there's been a solid exchange of jabs 2 or 3 times in the opening round so far. Brook is driven back to the ropes on the far side of the ring, close to his own corner, and now Golovkin opens up with a hook to the body, hook to the head, and Brook is on unsteady legs inside the first half of the first round. Brook is shaken by a cluster of punches over on the far side of the ring, and suddenly now Brook finds himself in danger of suffering his first defeat, and inside the opening round, as Brook goes after his man now with a lovely right uppercut, left hook, and then he punches again from the centre of the ring, but they bounce only off the gloves of Golovkin. Brave work from Brook here, but the damage initially was done by that searing body shot, left hook beneath the right elbow of Brook, and Brook now moves around towards his left, but walks only onto a right hand, follow-up left hook from Golovkin, who's showing the power he's punching here in the opening round. Brook, though, coming back at him with a right hand, a jab to the body from Brook, refusing to yield here, even though he was badly shaken earlier on in the round. 45 seconds to go in the first round, as Golovkin now just steps after his man, throws another one of those left hooks towards the body. He misses with an overhand right, takes a clipping jab from Brook. He tries to time that shot as Golovkin was marching forward. Brook now feels his way in with a couple of jabs, 2 strong overhand rights from Brook, and then a couple of uppercuts, and Brook goes forward once again. Brook lands a solid left hook, and the crowd roar their appreciation here as Brook has come back strongly in the last half a minute of the opening round. What a start here from 2 men known for their explosive punching here, and Golovkin goes after him once again, drives him back towards his own corner, but Brook moves off, throws a right hook, then a left hook. They land on the gloves of Golovkin, but they're a sign that Brook has taken that shot, taken it well, and come back to finish strongly at the end of the first round. David Hay.
Well, it went, unfortunately, how I kind of feared it would do, with Gennady Golovkin just walking through Brook's punches and landing pretty much at will. The shots that missed Brook weren't because Brook was slipping him, it was because, you know, Gennady was just letting his hands go. He didn't seem like, you know, he was at bottom, but he looked like he was literally going through the motions. It looked like he was sparring in there. You know, he didn't have too much fear for what was coming back at him, which allowed Brook to land some good quality shots at the end of the round, but those shots unfortunately bounced off Triple G's chin, and the left hook that Gennady hit him with in that first round really shook him, really shook Kell to his boots.
I was really surprised at how Golovkin went out with his hands. We've seen him do that, absolutely fearless, a bit reckless. What a round, Mike, what a round!
First round to Golovkin.
Absolutely, Mike.
First round to Golovkin. We're into the second round, but Brook came back so strongly at the end of that first round, but now he takes a solid right hand and 2 successive jabs, and those 3 punches with a follow-up flurry from Golovkin drive Brook onto the back foot. Gamely, he tries to hold his station in the centre of the ring, but the sheer power of the punching of Golovkin is driving him back. Brook tries a right hand over the top, but Golovkin saw it coming and just dropped his right knee and swayed inside him. Brilliant defensive work, subtle, as David Hay was saying earlier on. Often goes unnoticed how clever he is in defence. He's holding the hands high here, goes forward now and powers in 2 solid left hooks as Brook tried to hold on to Golovkin's right arm on the blind side of the referee. The 2 men in the centre of the ring. Golovkin clasping his gloves around the high part of his head as Brook sets off with a brilliant four-punch attack here now, but again, most of the shots landing on the gloves of Golovkin. One of them did sneak through the middle, but Golovkin marches forward unperturbed, as if he can punch, knowing that those shots from Kell Brook won't have any kind of troubling effect. He says he's never been knocked down, and says in fact never been close in almost 400 contests. Now he drives Kell Brook back to the ropes just above us here. Two solid jabs, and we see the effect of the head of Brook being bounced backwards by those solid jabs from Gennady Golovkin. Most fighters throw those jabs really as a rangefinder. He's actually floored opponents with a jab. That's the natural power of the man. He tries now to wing in with a left hook. Slightly wild work at times from Gennady Golovkin, I think, because he doesn't yet respect the power of Brook. But he is having success time and again, Golovkin, with the straight left-hand jab. Copybook punch that he would have developed in the Soviet-style training in his amateur days representing Kazakhstan, whose colours he proudly bears on his trunks. He goes forward now, looking to land another one of those left hooks. It was in the mid-range between the chin and the abdomen area. He's landed so many solid body punches that have caused so many problems for his opponents in the past, and the crowd now really trying to lift Kell Brook, who lands a brilliant left uppercut and then a right hand over the top. Kell Brook coming forward now, three-punch combination from Brook, another right hand. Golovkin motions for him to come forward again. Brook takes up the invitation, lands another solid right hand. Golovkin standing firm like a rock in the centre of the ring, but Brook is opening up here. Brilliant work from Kell Brook. The special one starting to unload in special style here with 20 seconds to go in the second round. He knew he had to be brave. He knew he had to stand his ground, trying to make his speed work. He's making it work here, and he's caught Golovkin repeatedly with heavy punches here. But Golovkin, it's noticeable, has just come straight on the attack once again. Golovkin tries to move on the inside, not to throw a left hook, as the bell sounds at the end of the second round, and the O2 arena erupts.
One of the finest 3 minutes, Mike, you and I have ever sat down and watched, and I'm going back 30 years when we were kids watching amateur fights to some of the fights we've sat at around the world. That was pure quality. Golovkin not necessarily took his foot off the pedal, that's too strong, but he suddenly left himself there, and then Kell opened up, coming up through the middle, great way to go, the short left hook up through the middle, the right cross coming across. It didn't hurt Golovkin, let's get that right. It didn't shake Golovkin, but you knew Golovkin was hurt, David, and that round was I think that was Brook's round.
That was definitely Brook's round there. It was an absolutely perfect round. He stood there, let his hands go, get it, triple tree, called him on after he took a big right hand. I just hope he can maintain this. Kell Brook hasn't been known for having the best stamina as the fight goes into the later rounds, and we're carrying this additional 13 pounds of weight. I'm just got my fingers crossed that he can carry it through.
Well, both men are slow to rise from their stall. They've both taken heavy shots over the course of the first 6 minutes, and we have it around apiece. Who would have forecast that? As Golovkin goes forward with a solid jab now, tries to open up in the centre of the ring, and Brook goes down, but the referee waves his arms to say that wasn't a knockdown. Brook got caught in a tangle of feet there as Golovkin marched onto the front foot. Golovkin lands a jab, misses by a long way with the follow-up right hand. As Brook timed it and saw it coming, another solid jab gets through from Golovkin, who appears to have had a talking to from his corner here, because he started in really lively fashion. He misses with a right uppercut. Mercifully for Brook, who's under sustained assault here, bounces off the ropes as he tries to avoid the latest attack from Golovkin, who's still going after his man now. The action has moved to the far side of the ring, and he lands a brilliant left hook to the body to Golovkin. Now he tries an overhand right, misses with a left hook. Kell Brook, now he's driven back to the neutral corner on the far side of the ring. Moves almost immediately to the corner here, the red corner, Golovkin's own corner, and Brook is blinking out of the right eye, and so he comes forward and tries to throw a cluster of punches in the centre of the ring all the time. Courageous and brave, but he takes a big right hand, followed by a concussive left hook from Golovkin, who's going after his man now, and Brook takes a huge lungful of breath. When will he get some respite? The look on his face says. He tries to throw a right hand, Golovkin sways underneath it. Halfway stage of round number 3. A much more eventful contest than many had predicted here. But Kell Brook is significantly on the back foot here, scraping his back against the ropes just above us here, almost removing the skin from his back as he tries to elude the punches. from this relentless attacking machine that is Golovkin, who lands with one big left hook, misses with the second, and Kell Brook comes back with a counter right hand. Now two left hook, right hand, right uppercut from Kell Brook. Applause at ringside, and once again he takes the fight back to Golovkin, and Golovkin is being attacked and being challenged like never in his professional career. So much so that the great Kazakh just nod in approval as he took that latest flurry from Kell Brook, and is there blood now by the right eye of Kell Brook as Golovkin tries to open up neutral corner, far side of the ring. The punches being exchanged both ways here, both men having their time on top in this third round. What a contest this is developing into. Questions being asked of Golovkin, who lands a huge right hand, and now the left eye of Kell Brook is starting to close. Soon he won't be able to see out of the eye. The troubles are growing for Kell Brook, but he swings back with a right hand. He knows not how to relinquish his pride here in the centre of the ring. He lands a right hand. Golovkin finishes with a left hand as we head over to the far side now and listen in to Dominic Ingle, the trainer in the Kell Brook corner. Well, in the cauldron of noise here, it's so difficult to hear what Dominic Ingle is saying. But that was such a fantastic round of boxing, David Hay, but just a sign that Kell Brook is beginning to wilt.
Kell Brook started looking really busted up in the last minute of that round. He started looking a bit sorry for himself. His mouth was open, he was exhausted, carrying these extra, 13 pounds hasn't really helped his endurance here, and taking punches really does sap your energy stores. He signalled to his corner that he had some sort of high
something with the eye. But you know what? I haven't seen any fighter, and I've seen all of Golovkin's big fights. I haven't seen one fighter take what Kell Brook's taken tonight from Golovkin, Mike.
I couldn't agree more.
Kell Brook might have landed more punches on Golovkin in the first 3 rounds here than any of his opponents throughout his 16-fight world title reign. Golovkin also here is facing stern questions about his makeup as a fighter. We know he's got a strong chin, but can he also weather the occasional storms that come his way? They have managed at this stage to stem the flow of blood from the right eye of Kell Brook, but he's driven back to the corner just above us here, and we can hear the thud of the punches of Golovkin raining in on the body, the torso and the chin of Kell Brook in the centre of the ring, but still he comes back with a jab, then an overhand right, flicks out a couple of jabs, gets on the back foot. Golovkin goes to the body with a left hook, follows up with a left hook to the head, but neither of them landed with the clinical precision that we've seen so often during his career. He goes to the body now with a brilliant right hand, misses with a left hook with Golovkin, and having made him miss, so Kell Brook comes back. Kell Brook now takes the ground in the centre of the ring. So brave here is Kell Brook. He steps off though and takes a solid jab, and once again he blinks out of that right eye as the blood begins to blur his vision. He steps back towards the centre of the ring. Golovkin steps away, backs off this time, flicks out a couple of jabs. But time and again Kell Brook is meeting him with exchanges of jabs in the centre of the ring, where the both men are stationed right now once again. 2 solid jabs, 3 from Kell Brook, but he backs off almost voluntarily, moves around towards his left, potentially into the path of the right hand from Golovkin. Golovkin just throw it to the body area, but didn't really put his full body weight behind it. It was just a feeler of a punch. A jab from Kell Brook lands as Golovkin takes his time to configure his next move on the way in. Right hand from Golovkin gets through, then a second right hand to the body didn't. The 2 men almost clash heads in a close quarter clinch on the far side of the ring. We're heading into the final minute of this, the 4th round, of what an explosive contest it's been so far. Who could have predicted that Kell Brook would have mashed Gennady Golovkin so often here, punch for punch, in the centre of the ring? Golovkin comes forward, tries an overhand right, left hook to the body, right hand to the chin does land as Brook is forced backward, his head is jarred back, he moves towards his own corner now, but he's got his eyes fixed on the face of Gennady Golovkin, trying to read what the Kazakh is going to do. Golovkin comes forward with a big overhand right, but Kell Brook just claims him on the inside and nullifies any of those punches that Golovkin couldn't find the punching room to throw. Golovkin now tries a right hook to the body, right hand over the top. Both of them miss again. Last 20 seconds of this, the 4th round. And now Kell Brook comes forward with a left and a right, and again the crowd getting right behind him here. Could this possibly be one of the chapters on the way to a famous upset. Another left hook from Kell Brook lands in the closing stages of round number 4, and there's an urgency about the work of Golovkin. I wouldn't say desperation anywhere near at this stage, but certainly more urgency than we've seen in many of his world title fights. At the end of round 4, David Hay.
I gave that round to Triple G, but Kell Brook to cover himself in glory here tonight. He really has let his hands go, and I've never seen Golovkin look this sloppy, get caught this easily. You know, I'm really hoping that Triple G hasn't taken this fight as seriously as he should have done, because as this fight gets into the later rounds, he's really going to need that slick defense that he's shown in prior fights. But Kell Brook is really and truly in the fight. I did not believe Kell Brook would hear the bell for the fifth round. I thought he would get taken out in 4 rounds. He's proven me wrong. He's proven a lot of people wrong here. But you know, he's in this fight. He's landing good quality shots, and he's got the respect and attention of Golovkin.
We've got a fight on our hands, Mike. We've certainly got a fight on our hands.
Black Heart, 3 rounds to 1, but it just feels an awful lot closer as Kell Brook has really taken the contest to Golovkin. At times doing that on the back foot, allowing Golovkin to come forward and timing his counter punches with precision on the way in. But still work to do for Kell Brook here if he is to pull off this famous upset that he so confidently predicted throughout the build-up. Golovkin works away to the body now. Good right hand, and then a left hook to the body. Right hand over the top, another left hook, and now Kell Brook definitely is hurt. He covers up on the ropes. He moves away just above us here. Golovkin is really starting to open up, and there are unanswered punches here at the start of the 5th round. Kell Brook just above us, opens both arms as if to say, is that all of you got? But he's definitely hurt here with 2 minutes and 15 seconds still to go in round number 5. Brook steps off, having taken a long succession of punches, heavy punches to the chin. Many lesser men, many less brave and courageous men have succumbed by now to the great Gennady Golovkin, the heaviest puncher in the history of the middleweight division. But so far, Kell Brook has stood up to all those shots, and now he turns southpaw and lands a terrific right hook onto the chin of Golovkin. But again, noticeably, Golovkin stands firm like a rock in the centre of the ring, refusing to move, refusing to show any kind of weakness. He goes to the body, Golovkin, now lands an overhand right, and Brook looks tired, takes a long full of breath as he goes back to the neutral corner on the far side of the ring. And the cornermen of Golovkin, just to my side here, are imploring him now to come forward again, and he does. 2 solid left hooks, one to the elbows, one to the chin, left, right, left hook, and now Dominic Dingle on the far side of the ring. The trainer appears with the towel as Kell Brook fights back. The referee hasn't seen the towel as Golovkin continues on the attack. Now the referee sees it, now the referee waves it off. Kell Brook turns to his corner as if to say what's going on, but Dominic Dingle, with about a minute to go in round number 5, the long-time trainer of Kell Brook, has decided he's seen enough, has decided his man has taken enough. On a night when Kell Brook's reputation has soared here this evening, Golovkin is lifted aloft by his cornerman, but never has he been posed questions like that in his World Championship campaigns from a man who was coming up 2 weight divisions. But in the 5th round, in the end, after a long, battering, painful succession of punches, Gennady Golovkin prevails. He is still the middleweight champion of the world. But what a go Kell Brook gave him.
And that's how you lose a world championship fight, when you're in against a man that no one thinks you can beat, that no one gives you a chance of beating. That's how you lose it. With 30 seconds to go, Kell Brook dropped his hands and called Gennady Golovkin in. He couldn't see out of the right eye. That's something we're going to discover in the next 5 minutes. He had no reply. He briefly pushed Golovkin back in the 2nd round. He'd taken a slow beating. And David, we were saying before the fight, and you were hoping that it wouldn't be a slow beating. It would be a 1 single punch and it's all over. It wasn't. That's the type of beating that if you can recover from, it takes a long time. But saying that, Mike, you're so right. Golovkin there had to answer questions he's never had to answer, and ones that we didn't think he'd have to answer here tonight.
The person that tonight that really impressed me also was Dominic Dingle. That stoppage was absolutely spot on. You've got to realise Kell Brook is a current welterweight champion. he had no business taking that onslaught on the ropes. You know, Dominic Ingle, about 20 seconds prior to that, was trying to get the fight stopped. He threw in the towel. You know, I'm so happy that he did that and didn't watch his fighter get drilled to the canvas, because he can now give it 6 months. He's back in the ring. He's still earning money to his family. He's still, you know, defending his welterweight title. Great bit of corner work from Dominic Ingle. Best I've seen for a very long time.
Such guts, Mike. We've sat ringside. We've watched heroics from men. We've seen men push themselves where they shouldn't have been. Darren Barker when he won the world title in Atlantic City. Other fighters. We've seen controlled performances. David against the beast from the east. But when you see pure heroism, pure, in some ways, stupidity, and pure guts like we saw there, it gives you a lump in your throat. You have to take a gut check yourself.
Of all the predictions I heard about tonight, and I did hear some that told me Kell Brook would reach the 5th round, nobody told me he would reach the 5th round in that style.
Yeah, he really landed. I've never seen Triple G take that much punishment in a fight. You know, he was genuinely bothered by that punishment. His corner was screaming at him instructions. I've never seen Triple G's corner looking that unsettled and that upset. They knew he was in trouble at certain stages. When I say trouble, I don't mean risking losing. He was getting buzzed by those shots. You know, Golovkin was nodding occasionally that after a big sort of left hook would land from Kell Brook, you know, Golovkin would nod his head, so yep, that was a very good shot.
I tell you what is obvious, Mike, how fantastic Kell Brook, Dominic Ingle and the rest of that motley crew from Winco Bank prepared in Tenerife and prepared when they got back to Sheffield. That was a mission today that started 20-odd years ago when he was just a child, a tumbler in the gym, in to entertain kids like Nassim Hamid. He was brave and fearless at the end. He's still arguing now with Dominic about the stoppage. He clearly couldn't see out of the right eye, and he had nothing left. He tried everything he could do, Mike. Most fighters against him, certainly the last 22, they've gone on the floor. He didn't go on the floor. He didn't want to.
Well, if that's an advert for what they do for young men and women at the community centre, the gym at St Thomas's Church Hall in Winkerbank in Sheffield, then there is hardly a better advertisement. Kell Brook showing such pluck and such courage, and we have to say such skill in timing again, breaking down the defences of Gennady Golovkin, at times flustering the great Kazakh in the centre of the ring, but ultimately we were reminded of one of boxing's oldest adages, that weight divisions are in place for a reason. The good big man tonight did beat, indeed, the good little man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger's corner, the red corner, indicated to referee Marlon Wright to call a halt to the contest. Challenger retires the winner by TKO victory. His record now 36-0, 33 KOs, 23 consecutive wins by knockout. Still, the undefeated, universally recognized middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Golovkin, a.k.a. Triple G.
And there is wide, rousing applause in the end for the man they booed on the way into the ring and are cheering on the way out, because they know they've seen one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet here tonight. They've seen him tested and they've seen him come through in the end with another powerful display of clinical aggression here. Brilliant work in the end by Gennady Golovkin, but how he was tested by Kell Brook in a way that many couldn't and didn't predict. Gennady Golovkin, still the middleweight champion of the world, unbeaten now in 36 fights, as Kell Brook on the far side of the ring now contemplates his first defeat in 37 fights, but none of the previous 36 have boosted his reputation in the way that he did here this evening with his performance here in the O2 Arena. What a night.